Hi everyone, I'm Monty and thank you for joining me. Today we are going to use this jig to put a radius on the bracing on the back of our guitar. And I'm going to show you how we do that. But first I want to show you the jig that I'm going to use. I did this by hand initially, where I measured the bracing, how much I wanted out here cut off and how much I wanted here. And then I drew a line like this, going up and down there, and then I planed it, and oh, it took hours and hours. There's a couple of other ways that you can do this. You can take the sanding disc, and it's got sandpaper, and you can just simply go back and forth until you've got this thing perfectly round at this end and at this end. But the problem with that is sometimes you take this and you twist it a little this way or a little this way, and you don't get it perfectly straight. And I want this thing absolutely perfectly straight. So what I did is I purchased this. My mentor made this for me. And what I have here is on this side, I have the top, which is a 28-foot radius. On this side, I have an 18-foot radius, which is the back. Now, up in here, this little dip here, it's coming in like this, concave. There's, let me just check this now. It's 5 millimeters at this corner and 5 at this. Now this whole thing is 20 inches long and it's 4 inches wide. So we've got 20.5 by 4 inches, and we've got a bolt coming through the center here that we're going to screw on here in a minute. So you'll see this. There's 3 pieces. This has been routed out, but you could actually use a different piece of wood and just set it on here and glue it in place if you wanted. But we've got 5 centimeters here, and in the center we've got 11, and at this end we've got 5. Now on the top, which is 28, we have 8 centimeters down here, 8 centimeters up here, and we've got 11 in here. So we've got 6 inches running from this side to this side, and it's just kind of a recessed piece because this is going to fit down in here, and you'll see that in a minute. But what I've done is I've glued on some sandpaper on here just so that it doesn't slip when we're cutting it, because you don't want any messes when you're working with a table saw, right? Absolutely none. So there we go. We have it. Now, some of this wood, when you go to bend it, it's pretty tough to bend. And so I tend to want to take this thing and I clamp it in place. So you'll see me do that just now. Now this little piece is a filler so that this can't rock back and forth. I don't want that. So I put that in there like that. That makes it sure I'm perfectly level. I now take this. I've marked the center point. I've done it across here this way and on the top. Now, I know where the center is here because I've got it marked on here. Now, I happen to be in the reverse, and this needs to go this way. There we go. That center line ends up with this center line, and the center line ends up with this center line. So I know I'm straight. Now, I'm going to take this brace, and I will take this side, and I will put it right in there. Okay, now it's dead in the center, and I'm going to screw this down here. Now, because I'm getting older, and I don't quite have the strength in my hands that I once had, I need a little assistance with this. So here's what I do. I get it all lined up nice and neat. I get it dead center. I take a clamp and I make sure I'm over the center, and very gently I squeeze it until I've got this thing bent against the side here, and then I just simply tighten this up and I get it good and tight. That's it. Take that off, and that's pretty good. Now this piece of wood is a little over a half an inch in height, and it is 280 thousandths of an inch in width, and so it's tight against both ends of here and here, and I can see it's perfectly flat. So now we're ready to take it to the saw. So why don't we do that, and I'll go over and we'll set the saw up in order to make this thing work, and I'll show you how you cut this perfect radius in a matter of seconds. We've got to be careful. Again, you're working with a table saw. These are going to be my handles, and I'm wearing safety glasses so that anything splashes up, it's all going to get caught by the glasses and my eyes will be protected. So we're going to go over to the saw now and get that done. Let's go do that. So we ran this thing through the saw, and there's a few little bit of saw blade marks on there. So here's what we're going to do. The curls that come off on the smoothing plane are very, very thin. And so I know that that's good. It's made it nice and smooth, which will give me a good fit. So what I do now is I simply unclamp this and guess what? Voila, we've got it. Now watch this. Perfect. We got a nice radius there. I know where the center mark is here. It's right there. And that's going to end up in the center right there like that. And that's going to put a little bit of a curve on here. Now, that's perfect. Now, what I'm going to do next is I'm going to do the same thing you just saw me do here, only I'm doing it 3 more times. So I'll go ahead and do that, and then we'll come back and we'll cut these pieces for the back where the braces are actually going to line up. So I'll go and do that. I'll be back in just a second. So now what we've achieved is we have the proper radius on the braces that are going to go across the back. What we have to do next is cut the slot in this back strip here so that these will fit nice and snug and square to the actual back brace that we've got here. So let me show you how I go about doing that. First thing I do is put on my glasses. These are cheaters actually, they're not really my glasses. And I take this square and I'm going to put it up against the strip here because I know it's going to be 90 degrees running straight across, and I'm down 7 1/4 inches, and that's to the first line, and then that's where I'm going to cut it. So we will start that right now. And I go very gently at this, and I go very slowly on this particular brace because this one you can see through the sound hole. So you want this one to look really good. Okay, there we have it. Now, I double check, I take the brace and I put it along here and I look, I've got it right on the cut, and I look at this and I see, haha, okay, I want this to be even tighter than what this line is. So I'm going to remove the line and I'm going to draw it again. So I've got the brace, I put it right to the edge of the cut at the front, and then I take a very small pencil mark across here. And I know that that is the width here of my cut where the brace is going to be. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to cut inside that line. I don't want it on the outside of the line. I want it inside that line. So that means that this cut should be narrow, and it's on the inside of the line. Hopefully it won't be loose and it'll be nice and snug. So what I'm going to do now is take the chisel, use a 1/4 inch here, and I will slowly lift this. There it is. Oh, look at that. Boy, did that work out well. Now, when I glue this, I'm going to be gluing each of the sides here, in here, and on here, as well as the bottom of this. So, this is number 2. This should be tight or not fit at all. Oh, it's a little, just a tad bit snug, and it doesn't quite fit. Okay, so here's what we do. We take some sandpaper. There's a couple of ways you can do this. You could take a file and file this edge in here, or this edge until it fits. Number 2 braces here. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a little sanding. And I want to graduate this. I want to make sure that when I do put it in, oh, look at that. See that little bit of sanding? Look, 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 look. That, my friends, is absolutely perfect. Do I ever like that? Okay, so I've got this one in. I've got this one in, and now I have to do this, and I have to do this. And I'm going to measure again, just to make sure that I've got this where it should be. Now, once I've cut all the pieces across on the back brace through here, like I did here, and I did here, and I'm going to do it down here and down here. So once that's all cut, and I know we've got the braces already radius because we did that using the jig, I'm going to take it over to the go bar deck, and then I will glue this all in place. So that's it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget, subscribe and hit the like button. And what else do you do? Oh, there's the bell. And you can do that if you wish, and I'd appreciate that very much. And if you've already got the book and you've read it, would you please put up a review on Amazon and let us know what you think of it. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.